First off, I'd like to welcome everybody to our very first interview for our YouTube channel. I'm Levi Waner. I'm the owner of Infinity Homes, and we are going to just talk to real estate construction professionals here for a while and kind of talk about their journey, their past to where they're at, the importance of working with each other in the general contractor subcontractor relationships. My first guest today is a buddy of mine, Forrest Dennis. He's in Bozeman, Belgrade, Montana area. Hey, Forrest, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Levi. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us. You're our very first guest.
I'm definitely honored. Thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so a funny story how Forrest and I met. We're both in Montana, and we both are in the Arate Syndicate with Ed Milet and Andy Frisella. And we both went to a summit, and all the people in the summit kept saying, "Hey, there's another guy from Montana here." And I kept being like, "God, I hope he's not a doucher." And then we finally met, and he wasn't a doucher. We became really good friends, and we've had a lot of fun together.
Yeah, been together ever since, making great memories. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now we're building in that Belgrade, Helena area, and Forrest does our roofs there. So he does an amazing job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Oh, it's
Yeah,
good.
let's get started here for us. Let's start in your background and your beginnings. Give me a brief history lesson on you and your family and how you got in the construction industry. And
I grew up here in Bozeman, Montana. I actually more grew up in the automotive industry. My folks own some salvage yards around here in Montana, Bozeman, Belgrade, up in Helena. And originally the plan was I was going to take over that, run it. And as I got older and I began managing the yards and everything like that, and I realized I wanted to go a different route. I wanted to get away from the family fold and see if I could make it out there in the real world on my own.
yeah, did that cause any strife in your family dynamic when you made that decision?
It actually went pretty smooth. And actually, I think in the end, it made the relationship with my dad even better because we were butting heads with work stuff and everything like that because I was managing one of the locations. And of course, he's overseeing everything. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could make it out there, not being a part of the family business. So I was talking with some buddies. And this was a Friday night. We're having a couple beers together. And they're like, why don't you want to come roofing with us? We're roofing for this guy. We're making good money and be a good fit for it. And I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. So that Monday I started roofing. And within a month, I was running a $1 million project for the guy that I was working for. I'd never been in the construction industry before. And then eventually I was helping him run the company and everything. And I worked for that company for about 3 years. And then I decided it's time to go out on my own. I think I've learned what I'm going to see. And I've got a big vision of where this could go. So I went and started Dennis General Contractor in March 2020.
That's awesome. And there's something oddly satisfying about roofing
Yep.
because it's one of those industries where you tear the roof off and then you see the progress shingle by shingle.
Oh, exactly. It's so fast paced and you make such a big difference in such a short period of time, typically 1, 2 days. And you'd be surprised by how much changing the color of the roof or the roofing system that you put on, it just completely transform how a home looks. And there's nothing better than those homeowners when they're like, oh my God, it feels like we have a new house.
And you get to work
I-
on your tan at the same time.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All of us. Yeah.
And we in the area in Montana that we're both in is a highly hailed area of the world, right? So we get a lot of hailstorms, which means a lot of new roofs.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We don't get hit quite as hard as like Colorado or Texas, but we get some good hailstorms, little pockets spread throughout the state. So
Right.
always that going on. And then it seems about every 10, 15 years, there's a really big one that hits. So I think we're about due for one of those really big
I
ones.
hope not. So how is the dynamic then learning how to communicate with insurance companies and their paperwork, their language, all of that kind of stuff? Because that's a totally different world.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Once you start learning what they're looking for, and there's so many tools and options available out there where you can take classes and you can get like HAG certified So that's what the insurance companies use for their field adjusters to look at roofs and determine what the type of damage is, the extent of damage. Is it repairable, or is it necessary to replace the whole roof to ensure the integrity of the home? So once you start working with them and learning the lingo that they're looking for and the proper documentation, and you set a reputation that you're working above board, and you're just trying to make sure that the homeowner gets the coverage that they deserve and pay for, you do it by the books. Insurance companies are really great to work for.
Absolutely. And then I know a lot of construction, you went from working for somebody doing the actual labor to running your own crews. And this is where a lot of guys fail in learning the business part of the transaction instead of just the labor, putting the shingles on, getting insurance to your accounts payables and payroll. How was that transformation for you?
Oh man, it was definitely quite a change for sure. Fortunately, with how I started getting into the roofing industry, I started from the bottom and worked my way up. So I at least had a general idea of how everything worked. But at that point, that's when groups like the Arte Syndicate come into play, and you can learn from people that have been doing it for years and years in that same industry and getting in those same rooms as people. And you're getting to a certain stage where you're not quite sure how to handle something. You can find the resources to ask somebody like, "Hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm trying to accomplish." And they say, "I remember that. This is what we did. This is maybe what I wish I would have done a little bit differently, but this is how we got to that point or got through that point."
Absolutely, absolutely. And then let's expand on that. Talk about your personal development growth, how that started, and how you're working through that mentally and physically. How you're doing that.
Yeah, I discovered Andy Frisella, and he has his program 75 Hard, and I started doing that in 2020. And I would say if it wasn't for that program, Andy and Ed and Arte, I definitely would not be where I'm at today. Or the first time I did it for about almost 10 months straight before I was able to actually complete the program, because it would always be something done. The requirements, I don't know if everybody knows, you got to do 2 workouts a day. They got to be 45 minutes. They need to be 4 hours apart. One has to be outdoors. It doesn't matter the temperature or what time it is. One can be indoors. You got to drink a gallon of water a day, no alcohol, follow a diet. What else, Levi? What else is there?
Read 10 pages.
Read
You
10
could
pages.
get, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
actually doing it right now.
Yep. Yep. What day are you
I
on?
I'm on day 15 or something. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just feel like a savage when I do it.
Exactly. You just get so focused in and dialed in on everything. And you really learn to manage your time. There was definitely periods where it's 4 in the morning till midnight, but you make sure you get all that stuff done. And doing that program and sticking with it taught me how important it is to be disciplined and to stick with and do what you say you're going to do, no matter what's going on. There's always,
Absolutely. Yep. And we're both part of the RTA syndicate, and I know we both credit a lot of that to our successes. And it's for me, and let me know what you think, like finding, because we're in Montana, there aren't a lot of people for us to look up to.
mm,
There's not a lot of the millionaires driving the Ferraris and stuff like that for us to go model ourselves after. So for me, that was big to join a group like that and see that our businesses and our physical health and our relationships can be much bigger and much more grander.
oh, most definitely. Like I know when you and I first met, and we met at that first Arte Summit in St. Louis. I had never really been around all the nice cars that were parked out in front of the Ritz with the rolls and
Right?
everything.
You've been at the salvage yard.
Yeah, I had been in the salvage yard, yeah. Oh, and then the nice watches and the nice brands and shoes and all the stuff like that. I hadn't really been around too many people like that. And to actually get to interact and see it, it makes you realize like how close that actually is and how attainable it actually is if you actually have your set of goals and focus on it and keep working towards those every day and just taking little steps at a time.
Absolutely. And it's also fun to have a partner in crime, right? Like now we're both watch dorks, right? And we send each other watches and cars and houses, and it's fun to have someone to share those dreams with.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that basement I sent you last night.
Yeah,
How sweet would that be?
that was dope.
Yeah.
I can build that. We should do that for sure.
Oh, most definitely.
On that, the lessons and stuff like that, let's talk about a little bit of your experiences, just some real easy questions. On your experience, what's the absolute worst advice anybody's ever given you?
Oh man, the worst advice someone's ever given to me.
Grow that mustache? I'm just jealous because I can't grow one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. I'm trying to think. I guess I try not to remember that worst advice.
Yeah, that's good then. Can you
Yeah.
let's switch gears and be like, can you remember the best advice anybody's given you?
I think the best advice I've ever gotten is you can't lose if you don't quit.
And so true because we're all gonna have setbacks.
Yep. There's
And if
all
you just keep pushing.
Yep. There's always something going on. There's always going to be something that comes up with family or something that comes up with a job that you're doing or whatever it is. And as long as you can learn to adapt and pivot a little bit, as long as you're keeping your eye on the end goal, and no matter how tough that day is, and you're going to bed, and before you go to bed, you're just like, fuck, today really sucked. You're going to get up the next morning and do it. You're set. In the long run, as long as you can keep going longer than everyone else, pushing through, you're going to end up winning because it's a numbers game.
Right? You start stacking a little more W's than you do L's.
Yep, exactly.
And I think we're a product of social media now where everybody tries to make it look really easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's never easy days, right? There's just
Oh, no.
different problems, different that we have to deal with as business owners.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think everybody in today's age has come to realize that, at least I hope so, that a lot of social media is people's highlight reels, make them look good, make it look
Right.
how easy it is for them. And they all have hard days. I mean, even the guys that are a whole different level than us, like Andy or Ed, they're very open about it too. Like they wake up and they
Right.
say, I don't want to do it today. But you
Absolutely.
got to get up and do it.
And
Yeah.
so starting from like when you first started to where you are now,
Mhm.
how are you handling your failures now compared to how you did when you first started? And turn those failures and learn those lessons and turn them into successes.
I've gotten a lot better at actually, I think, analyzing them and seeing, all right, what did I at least maybe handle well, but what are some things that I could have handled differently? And you just got to remember that for the future. As long as you don't make the same mistake over and you only do it once or twice, maybe 3 times.
Hopefully not 3 times, right?
Hopefully not 3 times. Yeah. But I know sometimes I could be stubborn and hard headed, but yeah, you just got to keep going. So,
Absolutely. And for me, a lot of it is because I'm a fiery guy. So like you let your temper sometimes get the better of you in those situations.
oh, 100%. I'm the same way. I know I used to definitely fly off the handle a little bit more, but as I've matured a little bit, I've learned to take that deep breath and, all right, what can we do to fix this? What can we do to make this a better situation?
Absolutely. And I know that you're an avid gym rat
Oh, yeah.
and you've got some routines that kind of help you deal with the stresses, which I know I do too. And so maybe tell us a little bit about your routine that helps you deal with those day to days.
Yeah. First thing in the morning when I get up, I've got to go get to the gym, got to pump some iron, got to get the blood flowing. It's such a good way to get the mind going and get ready for the day. And then once I get done with that, I'll go straight into the cold plunge pool. And I like to do my cold plunge, 39 degrees, 5 minutes. Actually, I do the sauna first and then I go into
Love
the
it.
cold pool. Yeah. Cause you want to end on that cold note.
Oh
And
man.
when I'm in that sauna, I actually like to do a little bit of that Wim Hof breathing as well. All it takes is 15 minutes, get it done, get in cold plunge pool, 5 minutes, and then get showered up, read that 10 pages, and then I'm ready to hit the day after that, get it done.
And we know that those construction guys, your crew start pretty early in the morning. So what time are you normally rolling out of bed to get all this stuff taken care of?
I'm gonna be honest. I did go through a period where I was doing the 3:45, 4 a.m. wake ups
Yeah.
and doing it. Now my routine has gotten a little bit different as things change. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have an awesome management team, and they're able to get everything going and lined out first thing. So usually now I'm about at the gym at about 6 and in the office about 9.
It's funny how now that we think 6 is late.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're first starting your business, sometimes you have to do those 3 o'clock workouts just to when you're just starting getting things rolling.
Oh yeah. There was when I was first getting going, first getting rolling, there was some long days where it was those 3, 4 a.m. wake ups, and where there's days where I'd literally go until 1 or 2. There are some days where this probably isn't the best, but where you just roll straight into the next day because you went so late. Now the next day needs to get done. So you're gonna just get
Right.
rolling. And then if you end up crashing at 9 or 10 that night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm early in bed now as I get older, but that's you like what's the best thing you said there, I think, is that you're building your crew up, your management team to where you don't have to handle those details as much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can't all do everything ourselves. So and I know something that I did is I procrastinated on trying to bring in team members. And I'm one of those guys that's, oh, I can handle it, I can do it. And I'll pile more and more on my plate until it's just not manageable. So that's something that the moment you start getting enough stuff to do where you can't take care of it all, it's time to start bringing in help.
Great. And so next question then is on motivation and your drive. What motivates you personally to get out and succeed and to be better every day and to be great? What drives you internally?
I think it's a mixture of things. That's a little bit of the material stuff, like the having a nice car, having a nice house and stuff. But really, it's for my family. I want to see, I want to see my son grow up with every opportunity that I didn't. For him to be able to take music classes, and if he wants, do jujitsu, do swimming classes, do gymnastics, and all those things. I don't want to see him not have those opportunities. And it's more than just my son and my wife too. I also want to see that for the future generations too. Ed Milet says, I want to be the one to change the course of my entire family for generations to come, and to change the way that we think about money, the way we operate, and the way we conduct ourselves. And I resonate really strongly with what Andy Frisella says about personal excellence. And I truly believe we were put on this earth for a reason, and we need to exercise that to our full ability and become the best version of ourselves that we can, and inspire other people to do the same thing to help make this world a better place. We should try and leave our community, our families in a better spot than when we first arrived.
That's fantastic. We just attended your open house a couple weeks ago, and we went to your headquarters
Yeah.
and loved how Emily had painted stenciled all your core values and stuff, your logos and stuff on the walls. How important is it to you to have that supportive spouse at home that was taking care of the things at home and supporting you in growing your business to take care of your family?
I would say it's pretty amazing. I don't think it's a good feeling to know that I've got somebody that I can trust 100%, that stands behind me and believes in me. And at the same time, I know that she's taken care of. She's got her set of things that she handles and takes care of it. And if she says she's got it, I don't have to think about it ever again. I know she's got it. And
Right.
that's definitely, it's huge. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's huge for me too. And I know that guys like you and I would push so hard that sometimes I don't want to say take for granted, but it's nice to know that Rock is at home taking care of the things that we need taken
Yeah.
care of on all fronts.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I know. You, me, both probably. We just push, push, push,
Right.
and yeah, sometimes we got to be like, all right, we got to give some love into the wife. And
Absolutely. A little time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When you were starting out, because you used to, how old were you when you started your business?
And it was 27.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
And it's hard for business owners um, to gain that confidence, right? Like we all have that imposter syndrome
Hmm.
and we're flying by the seat of our pants all the time, trying to make the right moves, especially when you have employees, because that burden weighs pretty heavy on you that you're taking care of people and their families at the same time. Was there a moment when you were a couple years into it where you're like, you know what? I think I got this. I think there's something clicked. Then I think I might know what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. Man, it goes across the board for me. Sometimes I do get that. I do get that moment where I'm like, all right, everything's clicking. I know what I'm doing. And then later that day, even or the next day, it's man, what am I doing? I'm in
Right.
over my head. But yeah, you gotta remember that responsibility that we have with all our team members that work with us and everything like that. That's actually the first thing I think when I wake up now is this isn't about me. This is about my family and my team members and their families.
Right.
And that's what gets me up out of bed in the morning.
Absolutely. And that's a heavy burden. It really is. I know that we're both big forward thinkers. What is next in the next 20 years for Forrest Dennis and Dennis General Contracting that you
Well,
could tell us that you're not hiding under your sleeve?
yeah, there'll be a couple of things hidden, but no, we're gonna be in. I'd like to be in at least 8 different states. I got a dream home picked out here in Montana. I'm not gonna say where.
Got to be
uh,
in Eastern Montana, right?
nah,
Real
it's
close to Sydney or that Glendive area.
such pretty landscape dude over there.
Right. There's pretty girl behind every tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a little bit more about the mountains, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna be all over the state of Montana. We're gonna be in multiple states. We're gonna be known as the best roofing company in Montana. Start getting into some real estate like you.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So we're going to end it with my favorite question.
yeah.
And we always have a debate about this. Do you hate to lose or do you love to win more?
I hate to lose. That's what I picture. That's what gets me uh fired up. Like, all right, we need to. I just can't deal with it. That's what gets me going.
I agree with you. My sister and wife and everybody say that they want to win, but I'd bleed out of my ears before I lost.
Yeah. If I win or I picture winning, I'm like, okay, great, I won. On to the next thing. But if I picture losing, it just doesn't work for me. I don't want to give that satisfaction to someone else.
Let them know that they beat me. That's just not in the cards.
Yeah.
Nice. Was there anything else that you'd like to add before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was good chatting. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Levi. You become, I know you're going to be one of my lifelong friends. So,
Yeah, this is a
yeah.
lot of fun. We've got a lot of good cigars in already, and we're gonna continue to smoke cigars and buy cool watches and
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right
all that
about
sort of stuff.
700 I sent you. Eventually, we'll be cruising to Mexico and all over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta buy the Cessna first.
Yep. Yep.
We really appreciate you coming on here, dude, being our first guest, and we've talked about having Forrest come on and be a guest whenever he's in town and whenever we're up in his neck of the woods, so
Yeah.
this won't be the last time that you see him.
Definitely. Yeah. Let me know when you're in town and we'll have to do something, put something together. And yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
up in April.
Yeah, I need to get, like, some ventilation in here so we can smoke some cigars.
I was
Or,
thinking
like
something for my office. Yeah.
yeah, so we can have Haley set us up outside, we'll just sit out in the parking lot.
Hey, spring is finally here and we're going to be hitting 60 today, I think. So
Alright,
pretty
we'll be on the
excited.
golf course before you know it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You tell Emily and the fam hi for me, and thanks again for doing this for us, and we'll chat with you very soon.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it, Levi. And yeah,
Yep, thanks, brother. Talk to you soon.
yep. Bye.